What internet marketing expert should you spend your valuable time listening to? Listen to someone who has over 20 years of web marketing experience and hundreds of website marketing success stories. That man is Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics. And this is Edge of the Web Radio.
All right. We've got an article from Convince and Convert, which is a great blog. It is fantastic. It's a JBear blog, and Jason Brewer was the author of this particular article. It's about interactive content. Yeah, you probably know a few things about good content. If you've been writing content, right, then you know what your viewers are looking for, and you also know that you need to write interesting content. You know, perhaps you dabble in your own blog, or write for a company. And most likely, you're writing more in 2015 than you were in previous years. Thus, the case with Doug. Now, he's literally writing...
Over 10 years.
He's like writing 3 blog articles right here in the radio station, so...
I am actually responding to them.
I kind of figured. That's the challenge. We're all content creators in one way, shape, or form. And if you're part of a company and you're doing that for yourself, you need new ideas. You need
yes.
You need to get fresh content, and you need to really pay attention to what your visitors, what your viewers.
Right. It's about them. It's not about you.
You better believe it. You got to give them something. That's a harken back to Jay Bear's book Utility. You give them something that they can use, that they want to come back to your site for. So to stand out of the crowd, we need to be more interesting and interactive. So there is the concept of interactive content marketing. So what is that? Interactive content marketing, and they're also called marketing apps that are out there. It's not groundbreaking. It's a category of content that's it's currently taking shape right now, and brands are just beginning to experiment with it. So think of a survey tool or an interactive infographic, for example. All right? Interactive content is any user experience, commonly a web-based tool or a microsite, that has an interactive element with it. Or it allows the user to participate in the content to find out some useful answers or results. All right. The easiest thing that we were talking about offline here was Google has a bunch of gadgets that they provide free of charge. That it's a graphing system, so you can actually put in some data, and it will give you a couple dial changes, and you can actually program it so you can grab it, embed it on your website, and there you are, voila. You have a tool that can actually interact with the user, right? Mm-hmm. The best examples of internet content marketing solve problems first. Ding, 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 ding. And our content marketing campaign second. I'm going to say that again.
Yes.
It's not about you. It's not about you getting leads. Right. It's being useful.
It's building that trust and authority with your audience.
And, Doug, I actually think that is almost sometimes the antithesis of marketing. Marketing, you're constantly trying to persuade to do business with us, right?
Right.
And we don't realize that engagement. And we talked about this with our guy from Chris Reed from Sparks.
Yeah.
Is that engagement is marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you have a conversation or a dialogue or an interactivity with a potential prospect, you're in the dialogue. You're starting the marketing efforts and the persuasion efforts, right? Same thing with social media. Social media is an interactive element. You're starting the marketing process, and it's no longer a dry thud of a drum.
Right.
You're wanting feedback so you can give better utility to your consumer.
One,
right?
and that's every great salesman knows too that it's about building that personal relationship and that trust with the other person.
Absolutely.
And so in the case of this show, for example, we're not telling people every 5 seconds to go buy products or go hire
877-736-4936. Sorry, I had to do it.
But what we do want to do is over time, as listeners are listening, they get to know you and they say, you know what, this guy has really given some good advice over the years. I want to take it to the next level.
Right.
I trust him because what he already told me is working. Let me give him a call.
Charge, right?
Yeah, let me give him a call and let's see what he can do for my company. Mm-hmm. And that's marketing.
Absolutely.
That's marketing. It's not always, hey, buy this, buy this, buy this. I always tell people the difference between advertising and marketing, right?
Yep.
Advertising is, you go out and you put a worm on the hook and you stick it in and you wait for someone to bite and you snag them out of the water.
Right.
But marketing is figuring out what kind of rod that you're going to use,
Right.
what the weather's going to be like,
Which bait smells the best to the fish?
where the fish are,
Yeah.
what kind of boat you should be in, it's basically all of the stuff leading up to that.
The utilization of the tactics.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so you want to create the best atmosphere for the fish who does want to bite to find you, and that's what.
Absolutely. Even to the degree of persuading all the other fish that, hey, these fish over here are biting, so you should bite too.
Yeah. So chum the waters.
I'll say that's a better analogy than the paper hanging.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
Really?
You're his employee. Careful.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Son of a...
Paper analogy was excellent.
Thank you. Wow. All right, so content marketing. If you think some Venn diagrams, you got education, consulting, written content. The blogs, white papers, and the content hubs in one circle. Then you've got entertaining, interactive visual elements like branded video games and branded video in the other circle, and the overlap between those two is interactive content. Okay, so successful interactive content allows the user to dive in, interact, and enjoy the process, even get something from the transaction, like an exportable PDF of something. It requires discipline and a secondary focus on conversion rate optimization. And I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, but it's not about making the sale.
Right.
Yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It's about providing the best atmosphere that leads up to that sale.
Yeah, exactly. So bear in mind, it's not about you. It's not about the direct lead generation. I mean, good interactive content marketing doesn't use a pop-up solicitation, any type of aggressive call to actions, or underhanded sales pitches. Just don't do it. So we have some neat examples of interactive content that we'll talk about here in a little bit, but just basically understand that focusing on a tool that you can give your customer, there's a couple things happening. One, it's useful, but on top of it, they realize that you've just given them a tool.
Yep.
That goes a long way for brand loyalty, I tell you what.